Hey, what's going on, good people? It's Shamar. We are back with another video. What's happening? Listen, I'm excited because today is our first ever viewer topic. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We are getting engagement. The viewers are talking to us, talking to me, and they want me to talk back to them, and that's what I'm going to do. So, this question comes in and says, can you give advice to clients? What's the difference between great experiences versus challenging ones? And I think it's a good question, right? I did have to mull over it and figure out how I wanted to go about answering it or discussing, good experiences, challenging experiences. And I think that it boils down to preparation, right? Proper preparation. And that's going to be on both parts, right? I think, but for you as a client, we're going to speak from that lens. It is up to you to properly plan for your shoot. What type of shoot do you want, right? You want, and let me put the disclaimer out there. I'm going to speak from event photography standpoint and a portrait photography standpoint. Those are my lanes, right? Levels of expertise. However, a lot of this can be applied to various niches within the photography world. You know, you have to, of course, make sure that the photographer that you want to book is able to do what it is that you're looking for them to do. If you want a wedding, don't call me. Don't call me. Listen, it's gotten better. It has slowed down a lot over the years, but I still to this day do not understand why so many people inquire on weddings. You've never seen not one picture of a wedding. I've done an engagement. I've done save the date. No weddings. I do not have a bride and a groom. I do not have the groom's cake. I do not have none of that. No. I would not recommend it. Do not recommend. If a person does not showcase that work, if they do not have it a part of their portfolio, 9 times out of 10, they don't do it. And please do not. Come on, man, you can do it. No, they cannot. If they could, they would be doing it, right? So pick the right photographer. Even within the level of, okay, portraits, right? I do portraits, you see portraits, and other people do portraits. Now, to that level, do you like, airbrush, the Photoshop look, some airbrushing going on? Do you like, different special effects to your photos and things like that? Make sure that that photographer does it, right? Not me. I am a realistic photographer, realistic portraits. I want you to be you. I told one client, I am not Dr. Miami. All right, man, for real. So listen, yes, make sure that they do it. Listen, and it doesn't hurt to ask, right? If you really enjoy their work, but there's one little special piece that you want to have done that you didn't see, it's okay to ask, do they do it? A reputable photographer is going to tell you yes or no, right? I've had a client maybe a week ago worked with me before, did her graduation photos, did her prom photos. I've done, several Sweet 16. I've done a lot for her. Now she, I think, is turning 21, and she wanted to do this shoot. I said, send me the concept. She's floating in water, then another one that looks like she's in a kaleidoscope, all these different things going on. I said, sweet baby, I don't do that. I knew somebody that did. I can refer you out. A reputable photographer would do that as well. If it's not their wheelhouse, they know somebody that knows somebody that knows something about it, so we can definitely refer you out to others. When you hit me up for weddings, I'm going to politely tell you, no, we don't do weddings. However, I have a few photographers that I can refer to you, and you can see their work and, decide on one of those. If you do, I'll send you the names and you can pick accordingly. Also, now that you've selected the photographer that does what it is that you're looking for them to be able to do, you got a good vibe with them, you like their work, you've booked them, right? Communicate, overly communicate, even before you book completely, because they should be asking you these questions. They're going to ask you specific questions so that they can understand what it is that you need. And I want you to Go above and beyond the questions that they ask and make sure that you over communicate. Let them know what's going on. If it is an event, make sure you tell them what's happening at that event. I remember, short story, one of my clients, she does an annual cookout at her house. You know, it's family and friends. Everybody comes over annually, and she loves to take pictures of it or have pictures taken of the event. She booked me for it, and then a week after that, her boyfriend hit me up and was like, "Hey, Shamar, if I send you some photos, can you put a slideshow together for me?" Now, that seems suspicious. I said, boyfriend, you got anything up your sleeve? You planning anything? No. I just need the photos. I just want to do a little slideshow during the cookout or whatnot. I said, okay. So he sent over the pictures. I put the pictures in the slideshow. As I'm looking at the pictures, I'm like, all right. Hey, boyfriend, what you got planned, man? What you doing? Feels like something about to happen. No. I'm just showing the pictures, I might say a few words or whatever, but I'm just showing the pictures. There's nothing happening. Very resistant on telling me. I said, boyfriend, if you don't tell me what's going on, I'm not going to be able to capture it. It's not going to be captured. All right, listen, I'm going to propose. Thank you. Your secret is safe with me. I got you. But I needed to know that, people, because I could have been over there capturing something, or better yet, because it was 2 hours in before the slideshow happened, I would have been like, okay, this is my perfect time to take a break because all the lights have been turned out, now we're just focused on this projection screen or what have you. Let me go take a quick little break while they watch this 3-minute, slideshow. Bad idea. Because as the slideshow's happening, he has some of her friends come out at different cues, right? And each person wrote out the word, "Will you marry me?" on their t-shirt. So, will you marry? And then he had on the me. Did he have on the me or the? Yeah, he did. Who else would have on the me, Shamar? So, yeah, he had on the me. If I was on a break, and by the time I would have realized what's going on, by the time she didn't even realize what was going on until he came out with the me on his shirt, So tell somebody, tell them, let them know. Another thing you need to do with an event is making sure that somebody is the point of contact for your service providers. This is your photographer, your DJ, caterer, anybody that is helping assist with your event. Make sure that there is a point of contact that is keeping them updated on things, because you may have a run of show that is going to happen at your event, but let's say, for instance, that you got a special guest coming out where that person is delayed. We knew them to be able coming out and surprising the guest of honor at 8:00, but they got delayed in traffic, and now it ain't gonna be until 8:30. Somebody has to keep that your service providers in the loop, right? So that we are aware. If it's not you because you're having to host it or what have you, make sure that you have a point person. That point person sometimes could be your event planner, but they have to let us know. Right? Just like when it comes to you giving your son a car for his birthday, graduation, what have you, we need to know that, because guess what? We need to be outside to make sure that we can capture his reaction when he comes outside. If you're going to be cutting the cake, we need to know that, because there's nothing worse than me being over here taking a picture of your auntie and your uncle, and y'all go over there, start cutting the cake, and they singing happy birthday. We're trying to run over there. The crowd has gathered around the entire perimeter of that cake table, and we cannot get in there unless we crowd surf, and ain't nobody about to. So, properly plan, properly communicate, over communicate. And then if you are, let's go to the photo shoot side of it. Like we're doing a portrait session, you're doing it in studio. This is your 30th birthday and you want to have a whole glam squad. You got a makeup artist, you have a hairstylist, you got a stylist for your clothing. Make sure that your photographer's studio space can accommodate everyone if you're bringing everyone to the studio, right? If y'all doing this whole big thing in studio, make sure they can accommodate them. There's enough space, 1. 2, hey, is the lighting, what is the lighting like in there? And here we have some amazing lighting. It's great for us. It's great for the MUA because it replicates daylight. It's very bright. It's very airy. They can see what they're doing. We also have a restroom in here. We have a clothing rack. We have a steamer. So we can accommodate all of those things. If not, if they can't, you need to at least know ahead of time so that you can plan accordingly, because there's nothing worse than assuming that they have a steamer and they don't, and you didn't bring an iron. You didn't bring anything to get the wrinkles out, Makeup artists. Make sure you're telling your makeup artist that you're doing a photo shoot in studio with studio lighting. They would know to do something different, because the makeup that you wear in front of studio lights, the technique, the makeup, how they apply it is very different than how they would apply if you are getting a natural look going out on a town. Looks very different, and it shows on camera. I don't know the terminology. I might need to talk to an MUA so I can know the words, but a reputable MUA, they definitely know. So just tell them, hey, I'm getting ready for a photo shoot. It is in studio and they're using studio lights. Boom, they got you covered, right? So again, this is just the proper planning. And I didn't write anything down, guys. I'm just thinking about, the different things that I know have make or break. They make or break a shoot. And the thing that really breaks a shoot or breaks a session or makes it not a good experience is the lack of communication and the lack of planning, right? If you running late, please tell them as soon as possible, right? And that's on both sides of the house too. I know we're speaking from a client lens, but that's from a service provider too. For service provider, don't be late. Don't be late. But if something happens, let them know ASAP. Same thing for you as the client. Get you some proper rest the night before. Make sure you've packed everything the night before. Make sure that you are ready to rock and roll and show up on the time that you're supposed to show up. That's going to make life better for everybody, because there's nothing worse than you being stressed out because you're running late. Your photographer is stressed out because you're running late. And now both of y'all stressed out. It's not going to read well. If anybody has an attitude, if anybody's stressed out, it's not going to read well on camera. You as the client, you're going to be looking flustered. You're not going to be looking natural, having a great time. The photographer, now he got an attitude. And now, I don't care what angles you doing. He just, he ain't feeling it. It happens. So yeah, man, just make sure that you're on time, communicate ahead of time, and plan accordingly. Write a checklist for things too, because you don't want to forget the most important things. So if it's a tiara, if it's a crown, if it's a lapel pin, if it's a brooch, if it's a book, your dad's glasses that you want to incorporate in the shoot, write a checklist. Give yourself a reminder. Don't forget it. Those things make or break it. If you need your crew, your bestie to come in here and hype you up, make sure bestie on time. Make sure bestie remember, and then have bestie as the assistant as well to make sure you're not forgetting anything, right? So those are just a few of the things that I would say, and I hope this is being coherent, because like I said, I ain't writing nothing down. I'm just thinking about the stuff. But so the difference in a great experience and a challenging one. I just kind of described it. Let's talk about a challenging. What does that look like? So if there's lack of preparation, lack of communication, lack of planning, what does that day look like? From a photo shoot standpoint, a portrait session in the studio, you're late. You have confetti in the balloons. Your photographer, he's like, okay, there's no confetti in the studio, no smoke, fog, machines or anything allowed in the studio. So now, your favorite balloons that you wanted to shoot, your photographer is not allowing you to bring that into the studio. You're late, and you still got to get your makeup done, and makeup takes about 45 minutes. Well, if you're already an hour late, now 45 minutes to get your makeup done, the photographer has another shoot in another hour. So after all of that, you only get 15 minutes to shoot because that photographer can't push back that other client. So now that 15 minutes, and then by the time you get that makeup done and you go to put on that dress and you forgot the necklace that goes well with it, right? So it's a deep, I don't know fashion like that, but the neckline, that's the word I was looking for. The neckline is deep, and there is a specific necklace that you wanted to accentuate here, and you forgot it. Do you understand how upset you're going to be? Or better yet, you want the photographer on the last minute to be like, oh, you know what? I would love if you do the spotlight. That, yeah, because somebody was telling me that. And, yeah, ma'am, it takes a particular projector to do that. And I don't have that projector, so I'm not going to be able to do that spotlight for you. Now everybody mad. Everybody got an attitude. So that's a challenging one on a portrait side, right? On the photo side, event photography side, same thing, right? But okay, so you're running late at the event. You're the guest of honor. It's your birthday, it's your retirement party, what have you, and you have a step and repeat. Your photo booth, you didn't get no photo booth, right? So you don't have that, but you do want people on the step and repeat because you got a picture of yourself on a step and repeat. You got a happy birthday, happy retirement, what have you, and you want people to be able to take a picture over there, so you have your photographer like, oh, can you take pictures of everybody as they come in on that step and repeat, this and that and XYZ. Now that person is focused on, this wasn't discussed ahead of time. That person is focused on standing there taking pictures at the step and repeat. They don't have another shooter with them, so they're missing getting some of the decor. They're missing the people interacting with you because that line for the step and repeat is backing up. And so therefore you're doing your walkthrough and that photographer is not able to get it. But if they knew ahead of time, they knew that they had to have a person on deck for the step and repeat, they could have got a second shooter, That person, you're dedicated to just right here, and now I am freed up to go capture you and be your paparazzi. I think that's enough. I think that's wraps it up, right? Or gives you all some insight into it. Just first off, Shamar, stop saying because I realize how many times I've said Again, proper planning prevents poor performance. Say that one more time. Proper planning prevents poor performance. And that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.